This has been a time where our country's bursting with a lot of pride because of other events that have been happening. But one place we're still a little sheepish is the fact that a Canadian team has not won a Stanley Cup now in 30 full NHL seasons. So since 1994, the Cup has been won by teams representing 13 states plus the District of Columbia. Championship teams have spanned much of the U.S. from the East, Midwest, far south, south of Sunrise, Florida, all the way to the west to California. The grand total, 30 cups for U.S.-based teams and 0 for Canada. This current streak of 30 seasons without a Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup is 5 times the previous longest drought. 5 times. 6 seasons was the longest before that, from 1936 through 1941. And another not-so-fun fact when it comes to this, when Edmonton lost last year in Game 7 to Florida, they became the 5th Canadian team to prolong the agony over the past 3 decades, losing in 7 games. The NHL's U.S.-based teams combined to lose in 7 games just 4 times over that period of time. So not only are Canadian teams losing, but it's agonizing the way
to do that one
Canadian
anymore.
teams are losing.
I don't think you need to post that board anymore. Like, that was painful to watch. No more of that.
Sorry. Apologies to the nation. But it'll feel so much better when it happens. So now do you think all Canadians now, like Flames fans, have to cheer for Oilers fans if they get there?
I don't think
Sens
that'll ever
fans,
happen.
Leafs fans,
Fans don't
That's
do it.
not happening.
even though the nation is,
I think so.
the nation needs it.
Everyone's
should.
got to get rally
Can you
behind
see
whoever's
Flames
still playing.
fans jumping on board with the oil?
Let us all unite. We never will. We never will. We are a nation divided come playoff time. We do this every single year, is we identify our 5 cup favorites, 1 through 5, and then at the end of the day, we see what has changed depending on the deals and if the panel wants to alter. We welcome Mark Giordano. First time he's getting to do this. So 1 through 5, I had a hard time with this, by the way.
too.
As a matter of fact, I did this 2 days ago and I have no recollection of who I chose. So Cheryl, you may go first. Run us through your top 5.
You know, it's tough, and it's starting to change right now with the Colorado moves. But I'm going to go with number 1, Dallas. I'm just looking at, the depth in that forward group, the speed. Then you look at the Granlund addition and Ottinger on the back end. So for them, Dallas, of course, the experience getting to the Western Conference Final. Winnipeg's pretty self-explanatory there. Dynamite power play. Connor Hellebuyck. Tampa Bay, the three-headed monster, Gensel, Kucherov, and then, of course, Vasilevsky. Florida, tough to play against. Now the addition of Seth Jones on the back end. And then Vegas can never count them out. The trees on the back end, tough to get to the middle of the ice.
Doc.
I'm going to exercise my Bob McKenzie, right? I'm not going to change this regardless of what happens today. He always does it. Just says
in the game.
He always says stuff like, in the past, I'm not doing this.
You wouldn't even do this list.
I know. So I'm just getting on top of the second half of it. This will not change today.
Okay.
You know you can't leave early because of that, because I just feel like your mind is turning.
Maybe. You never know. Florida Panthers, I can't believe a team. You would think that they were tired and they look lackluster. Maybe this isn't their year, but, man, they just look hungry. Their organization is backing them, bringing in Seth Jones, although we'll see how much of a difference maker he can be. The Washington Capitals, I've never had belief in them, but, man, you just continually watch them night after night. You're like, these guys, they do it right. They get goaltending. Ovi's 30 years old again, and it's like, what's this guy going to do? Winnipeg and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I can't believe I'm putting them there. Earlier in their season, I was like, they're a little bit inconsistent. And the big X factor at the end, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Could this be their year? Let's see what they do today to help their chances.
All right, Gio, first crack at this. Go ahead.
Well, first team in 30 years, I guess Edmonton.
As a Calgary Flame, that might.
Yeah, you just said Calgary can't support Edmonton.
The guys are going to kill me for this one, but I just think you got Draisaitl and McDavid, their playoff success. That's, you're down 2-0 before the game starts. You got to get 3 to beat those guys on most nights. Then you go to Winnipeg having a great year. I think they're finally going to get over the hump and get through the first round this year. And Hellebuck's going to have a better playoff, hopefully, for them. And then Colorado, with all the moves they've made, how can you discount them? Getting Nelson at center, they're so much deeper. Even the Lindgren kid on defense makes their defense that much better. And then I'm going to go with my old buddies in Toronto, the Leafs. I think they've had really good goaltending this year with Stolarz and Wall, and I think their overall game is more suited for playoffs, so I'll pick them. And finally, Tampa Bay, I think with the pickups they've made as well in the last couple of days, they're a lot deeper.
Mike Johnson.
Pandering to the Canadian crowd with 3 Canadian teams.
Hey, you learned
He went all over the country. I love it.
Calgary advantage.
First and 30.
Impressive.
First and 30.
All right. I'm the same as Cheryl. I got Dallas. This was before I even heard about Rantanen. I think they're the highest scoring team in the league. They're doing without Heiskanen. He'll be back at some point. Maybe Tyler Seguin comes back. They're going to be aggressive. I like them, of course. Winnipeg, number 2, but that is only if they win the division. If you don't win the division, everything changes. Winnipeg has to win the division. They don't want to go through that gauntlet.
Qualifiers. You just do your.
I was going to say you can't
I
do
was just
that.
I put as many qualifiers as I want. It's my rules. Vegas, underrated. They play in a good division. Strong, all the underlying metrics, and I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak into something today as well. Tampa, Vasilevsky's back. Defense is back. Their top players have been great. And Washington plays in the worst division in the league, and I think their path to getting deeper gives them a great chance to go all the way.
Now, I chose these yesterday before the Nelson change for Colorado, so I would already bump Colorado into my 5-0. So I would change. I would change. Are we counting it as a trade or no?
Anarchy.
Are we counting it as a day trade or today or yesterday?
No, wait till the end of the day to make.
I'll only make one exception. There has to be blockbuster-ish type stuff for me to move off of this 5. So
Okay.
give me a blockbuster.
Would Rantanen count for you? Rantanen to Dallas? Would that change? Where do you have Dallas? You don't have Dallas on your 5.
I don't, so it doesn't
That would-
affect
that-
anything.
that would
Maybe,
bring-
I don't know. We'll have to wait and
They
see.
have to play. They have to play Colorado probably in the first round if Colorado
that's-
bumps into that spot. So
Unless Dallas catches Winnipeg.
I did these actually at the start of the year. This is how good I am at this. So I knew Winnipeg would be first. Put some respect on their name, the Winnipeg Jets.
They're in there.
I know, but nobody else has them as number 1. They can't be the best team all year. Watched last night, too good. Florida, 2nd for the reasons you guys outlined. Vegas, 3rd for the reasons you guys outlined. Edmonton, 4. I just couldn't leave them off the top 5. And Washington, the same thing. You can't play this well all year and not at least get the respect of being in the top 5. But it did hurt me to leave off Dallas, Toronto, and Tampa. We should do a top 8, but then there wouldn't be any hard decisions.